One injection awakened my power as an unstoppable beast tamer. The others mocked my bond, but soon my beast pets and I will rise from their laughter. The dangerous serum gave me more than power. It gave me a beast. They laughed at the pet I hatched, but soon they'll choke on its roar. Every beast I tame makes me stronger, if they don't kill me first. The others mocked my bond, but my beast pets and I will rise from their laughter. Ugh! You got ash on my coat, you little coal runt. A massive bully hurled me across the concrete like a rag doll. Laughter erupted from the crowd of wealthy students closing in around me. Edgar flicked the ash from my clothes back at my face. How'd you get the money to pay for this initiation? Don't you know the injection can kill unworthy peasants like you? Today was the day of my divine injection. If it didn't kill me, then I could gain a superhuman ability and enroll in the Golden Divine Academy. I was hoping that today would be my lucky day, for once. Then I noticed that my prized letter had fallen out of my pocket. No. I reached for it, but Edgar's boot came down hard on my hand before I could touch it. Pain surged through my arm. "What's this?" He snatched it up and read aloud in a mocking voice. "Good luck, Carl. Don't worry about the money. I poured the rest of my savings into your divine injection because I believe in you. Do it for your Lila and me. Love, Mum." The crowd broke into laughter. I shouted, "Give it back." Edgar pushed me back with his boot. "Your poor mother. She's going to regret wasting all that on you." Suddenly, another voice called out, "Leave him alone and hand it over." It was Dana. She stepped in and shoved Edgar back. Dana was my one and only childhood friend. She was also the most beautiful girl in town, with gray eyes that never flinched, even in front of Edgar. Edgar stared at her, then tore the letter and let the pieces flutter to the floor. "There, take it." "No!" I dropped to my knees, scooping up the scraps. Dana knelt beside me, helping gather them.
Don't let him get to you, Carl.
Then, the intercom blared overhead.
Section B. Report to your testing bays.
My heart pounded. It was time for the serum injection. It could either kill me or make me powerful. I held the pieces of the letter to my chest. "Please, let this change everything." Edgar smirked. "Showtime, Ashwipe." In line, I watched the students in front of me exit their injection rooms, one by one. Dana went in, then stepped out a minute later. Her eyes glowed faintly, and a silver moon-shaped mark gleamed on her chest. She was awakened as a mage. "Congratulations, you're going to the Golden Divine Academy." An official handed her a folder as she walked past. I grinned and pumped my fist for her. Then someone shoved me hard from behind. It was Edgar, and he had changed too. He now had a warrior's mark on his chest.
"I'm going to the Golden Divine Academy, loser." "Where are you going after this? Back to the mines? Maybe to the morgue?"
I didn't respond, because I was next. The door sealed behind me with a hiss. A tall official in a white coat motioned me over without looking up from his digital pad. "Sit." Left arm out. I lowered myself onto the cold medbed and rolled my sleeve up. This was it. Everything my mother had scraped together. Everything left of our family name. My one chance to escape my life of poverty in the mines. The official tapped the syringe. "Deep breath, please." I closed my eyes. "Please. I don't care what power I get, just let me pass." The cold sting of the needle plunged in. Then a sharp burn shot up my arm. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. And then, the lights flickered. Machinery around the room began to spark. Outside, the birds shrieked in ragged unison. The official's pen froze mid-mark. "What the? Ah!" Pain detonated in my chest. My breath ripped out of me as something seared through my bloodstream, crawling up toward my shoulder. I gasped and looked down. On my arm, a large, jagged, three-clawed mark I'd never seen before was carved deep into my skin, raw and glowing, blazing so intensely it painted the whole room in crimson light. The official staggered back into a tray of instruments as gasps rippled across the room. "I've never seen that mark before. What is that?" Suddenly, The scar blazed and flared outward into a great glowing spectral aura hanging over me in the shape of an enormous beast's claw. I stared at it in shock. What is this? Am I gonna die? The official tapped frantically at his pad, trying to make sense of the readings. Class, unknown. Power, unknown. His face had gone pale, as if he'd seen a ghost. There's no way. The beast-shaped aura shimmered, its massive claw crashing down, engulfing me in a surge of blinding red light. No! Suddenly the walls melted away, and I was in the wilderness, jagged trees stabbing at the sky. From the shadows, shapes emerged. A silver-furred deer with a scorpion's tail, a giant spider crackling with lightning, a white wolf with 9 flaming tails. The beasts all bowed to me. What the hell? Why were they bowing? If this was some kind of dream, it felt incredibly real. Then a huge shadow fell over me. Vast wings, something huge flying overhead with an epic screech. I looked up to see what it was, but then I jolted upright to the loud rattle of a train. Carl! Dana's face snapped into focus beside me. Are you okay? I looked around in confusion to see everyone staring at me. The red claw mark on my arm was blazing, flooding the cabin with light. They all gasped. At the same time, I heard a cheeky, excited voice suddenly chirping inside my head. Master Carl, come find me. I whirled around in confusion. Huh? What was that voice? Why was it calling me Master? But before I could say anything, attention students! At the front was Sergeant Rita in a military coat. Congratulations on passing your divine injection and being accepted into the Golden Divine Academy. We will arrive shortly. Accepted. So, I had made it into the academy? I still had no idea what my power was. All I knew was that the vision of those creatures had felt real, like I was seeing the future. But then I heard the cheeky voice in my head again. Master Carl, I'm under the seat, 3 rows up to your right. Come on. I stood up in surprise, but no one else seemed to hear it. Was I going crazy? Sergeant Rita continued. I suggest you manifest your powers immediately if you haven't already. You'll need them to survive your first trial. You'll find resources in your assigned cars. Go now. All around, the students were showing off their new powers. A boy flexed his hand and sparks snapped between his fingers. Meanwhile, all I had was a bizarre claw mark and a chirpy voice in my head. Dana stared at me. Carl, are you sure you're all right? You're acting weird. I'm fine. Confused, I shuffled up 3 rows to an empty seat on my right. The voice called again. I'm under here. I bent down to peer under the seat. There I found a huge football-sized egg wedged in there. I picked it up and stared at it. Yay, you found me! Was the egg talking to me? More importantly, what kind of gigantic animal did this come from? Suddenly, the egg was gone. Wait, what? Had I dropped it? Then, the room around me warped and my vision snapped to white. Foosh! For the 3rd time today, I was somewhere else. Whoa, what the hell is this place? On a stone altar was a straw nest. In that nest sat the egg, glowing faintly, the same one I'd just been holding, covering in glowing runes. Suddenly, the egg trembled, then cracked open. Inside the broken shell sat an adorable baby bird. What in the world? I stroked the tiny bird's head. Were you the one talking to me, little guy? But the bird only chirped softly, fluttering its baby wings. Then a strange mechanical voice spoke in my head. Beast space activated. Wind speed hawk pet added. My eyes widened. Wait, what? Is this my power? This isn't a wind speed hawk. This is just a hatchling. A screen flickered in front of me and the voice blared. Now scanning. Behold, the wind speed hawk. Species, predator class avian. Wingspan, 7 feet. Abilities, tornado generation. Vision spectrum, ultraviolet, infrared, night sight mastery. Designation, elite nocturnal hunter. Warning, approach with caution, or risk being swept away. Then the screen disappeared. I stared down at the tiny bird. It was cute, sure, but it was no windspeed hawk. At least not yet. Suddenly, I found myself back in the train. The mechanical voice inside my head spoke again. Supervision activated. Supervision? I blinked, and my vision changed. The forests in the distance became crystal clear. I can see a tiny nest of quillbeasts on the far ridge. It was incredible, and the world was so much more vivid now, with colors I hadn't seen before. Was I just given the vision of a windspeed hawk? The voice continued. Additional skills include Rend. I let out a whistle. I knew Rend was a basic combat skill that allowed me to create a super sharp air blast. If I mastered these skills, I'd be able to see any enemy coming from at least 100 miles away, sneak up on them, and surprise them with a Rend attack. Suddenly, I felt a warm, fluttering weight in my hands. I looked down. Ah! I jolted back. The bird. The little bird from my beast space. It was sitting in my hands, alive, breathing, real. Oh my God, you're real? The bird chirped back twice. I was so surprised I almost dropped it. It tilted its little head at me. Okay, I guess you can't talk then. I yanked a scarf from my satchel, twisting it into a makeshift sling. You're coming with me. We need to talk to Dana. Inside her private car, Dana squealed with delight. Oh my God, it's so cute! She pet the little bird in my sling. The bird chirped. I tried my best to explain everything to her. My strange beast space, my new abilities, and of course, my new pet. Dana glanced at the bird, then my beast mark. For a moment, her eyes lingered in a way that made me uncomfortable. She furrowed her brow. So, your power is, you have to babysit a little bird? The bird let out a proud squeak, flapping one tiny wing as if offended. I shook my head. No, it's not just a bird. I think it gives me my powers. Or, it is my power? I don't know. It'll turn into a windspeed hawk one day, I think. The bird chirped again, nuzzling Dana's hand. Dana narrowed her eyes at me. You think? I shrugged. Look, this is all new to me. I'm still figuring it out. Dana looked at the little bird thoughtfully, biting her lip. I don't know what this power is, but maybe it's good enough to make you awakened eventually. I grinned. If I could become awakened, I'd be able to fulfill my dreams and bring my family out of poverty. That would be amazing. Just then, the bird chirped sharply. At first, I thought it was answering Dana. Then I realized it was an alarm cry. Because at that moment, our train suddenly crashed. The world around me flipped upside down as our bodies were thrown against the wall. I clutched the sling instinctively, shielding the little bird with both arms. The crash was over in an instant, and when I came to, I was lying on the floor. I gasped and looked down at the sling. Bird, are you okay? Dana rose to her feet beside me. The little bird chirped twice, shaken but safe. Then, Sergeant Rita burst through the door. There's been a crash. We have to go. Outside, the train had fallen off the tracks, having crashed into a gigantic boulder that had been placed there. What happened? Someone asked. Sergeant Rita's face was grim as she stared at the boulder. This was no accident. Someone or something placed this boulder here. But why? I gulped. What's powerful enough to move a boulder like this? Sergeant Rita looked around. I don't know, but we have no time to waste. We're in the Gloomwood Expanse, an ancient forest where monsters awaken in the dark. If we don't book it and make it to the academy before nightfall, we're dead. Murmurs of panic rippled through the group. It was already dusk. Dana spoke up. That means we have less than an hour. Rita nodded. Then we'd better move. Stick close and stay sharp. As we started walking, the bird chirped anxiously in my sling. I covered it with one hand, gently stroking its back. Edgar, the bully, sneered at me. The hell is that? An emotional support animal? Dana glared at him, her hand glowing faintly with fire from new mage power. Leave him alone, you jerk. As we started moving through the forest, I could feel Rita's eyes on me, like she was trying to figure out what exactly I was. The forest thickened fast, growing darker. All around, I could sense that something was wrong. Earth mice darted from their holes, skittering between our boots before vanishing underground in panic. Rita held a crinkled map in her other hand and frowned. The terrain shifted. I don't recognize this trail. I spoke up. Maybe I can try my new supervision. But Edgar shoved past me and scoffed. Yeah, right. Follow me, everyone. I'll get us to the academy faster than some birdwatcher. But suddenly the ground pulsed and twitched, and a patch of vines twisted around Edgar's leg. Wait! I started, but it was too late. A large living vine hoisted him straight into the air. Edgar screamed in terror, hanging upside down. Help! It was as if the whole forest had come alive. Vines sprung up out of the ground all around us, trapping some by their ankles. Another student shouted, "It's got me! I can't break free!" Rita tried to help her, but a loose vine whipped at her face, keeping her back. It was all one giant plant monster, the kind that could easily destroy towns. Edgar twisted in midair, staring down at me. "Get me down from here, you idiot!" I stared up in horror. Why was this all happening? Who had caused our train to crash? Just then, the bird chirped at me. For a moment, I realized I could understand. "You want me to use Rend?" That's right. I raised my hand toward the vines and took a deep breath. "Here goes nothing," I shouted out. "Rend!" To my amazement, 4 sharp red energy arcs flew out of my fingertips, striking the vines. The vines hissed and shrank back for a moment, but then lashed out at me, even angrier. Edgar screamed, "Damn it, you weakling! Your pathetic power is worthless." My chest tightened. He was right. I wasn't strong enough. How could someone like me expect to become awakened? From my sling, the bird chirped wildly, but I couldn't focus. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was Dana. She pointed at the mage mark on her skin. "That was good, Carl, but you just need a boost. Let me use my magic skills to amplify yours." I stared at her. "You can do that?" She shrugged. "It's worth a shot. Better than seeing you die." To my surprise, she suddenly wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me. I blushed. I'd always been secretly in love with her, but we had never hugged before. "Dana, But I couldn't find the strength to say the thought that had crossed my mind. Besides, we had to save the other students. She let me go, then activated her magical powers and shouted, "Amplify!" I felt a surge of strength as Dana's magical energy flowed through my veins. I flicked both of my hands forward. "Rend!" At the same time, the little bird in my sling let out a big, hawk-like screech. Power surged. Suddenly my hand spat 20 arcs in a storm, shredding enough vines for the trapped students to drop free. The plant shrieked, its trunk splitting under the assault. For a heartbeat, I thought we'd killed it. Then the stalk lurched, spewing green sap. It collapsed into the dirt, twitching. The vines fell limp. For now. Edgar dropped to the ground with a crash, drenched in plant slime. The students burst out laughing. I staggered, my arms shaking. Dana sagged against me, drained from the spell. Rita barked out, "Don't celebrate. Move. That thing isn't dead." I glanced at the shuddering stump. She was right. It hadn't been my strength. It had been desperation, Dana's help, and maybe pure luck. Edgar's glare locked on me through the slime. His humiliation was complete and dangerous. He screamed in rage, "You and your stupid little bird!" Before I could react, he lunged at me. His fist slammed into my jaw. He tackled me to the ground as I tried to shield Bird, but he kept swinging, eyes blazing. "You think this is funny? I'm not letting a poor little coal runt humiliate me." "What are you talking about? I saved you!" I tried to block him, but he was too strong, possessing warrior-class super strength. The bird shrieked and launched itself out of my sling and into Dana's hands. Dana shouted, "Edgar, stop! You'll kill him!" Rita rushed over, hand raised. "Cut it out!" It's getting darker. We need to keep moving or we'll never leave the Gloomwood expanse. But before she could pull Edgar off me, the whole ground rumbled. Trees swayed. The air turned cold. Then, crash! A massive foot swept through the clearing, kicking Edgar off me like a rag doll. I gasped. rolling away just in time to see the towering legs of something massive. "What the hell is that?" Rita commanded. "Everyone run! It's a frost giant." That's what must have put the boulder in our tracks. This whole thing was a trap. I scrambled backward toward Dana, who placed Bird back into my sling. I wrapped the scarf around it again, hands shaking. The bird chirped sharply. "Yeah, I don't think Rend is going to help in this situation." The frost giant's eyes locked onto Sergeant Rita, who was trying to help other students flee. His mouth spread open to reveal jagged teeth. "Food!" His great voice was an earth-shattering bellow. "Keep running!" But Rita's attempt to save the students made her a prime target for the frost giant. With one flick of his hand, the frost giant swatted Rita away, sending her flying off. Dana screamed in shock at the sight of Rita disappearing in the distance. "Oh my God, Sergeant!" Then the frost giant turned its head, attracted to her voice. "Food," he said again, his drool hitting the ground like immense rain droplets. The frost giant moved its feet, and the students all scurried away like rats. Dana tried to run, but his massive hands snatched her off the ground. "No!" I looked on in shock as the girl I loved screamed and kicked helplessly in the air. "Rend!" I flicked both hands and fired off my last 4 red energy arcs at the giant's arm. They bounced off his frozen skin like sparks against stone. He didn't even flinch. I was too weak. The frost giant raised Dana slowly toward his gaping maw. Her terrified eyes met mine. "Carl, do something. Please." I reached out in desperation. "Dana!" And that's when it happened. My beast mark flared, red hot, pulsing with energy. It burned so bright I staggered back. Then a sharp voice echoed inside my skull, the same voice I had heard from the egg in the train. "Master Carl, if you want to save her, then unleash me." "What?" I looked down. My satchel was glowing. The bird's whole body was pulsating with a blinding light. "Wait, so you can actually talk?" "Master Carl, we don't have time." Right. Okay. What do I do, Bird? What do I do?" The bird replied, its voice urgent. "My name is Hawk, and if you want to save your friend, we need to evolve." I locked eyes with Hawk's glowing red stare, then glanced down at my beast mark, blazing like fire. It pulsed in time with Hawk, energy building fast, as Hawk's tiny body seemed to surge and grow. Evolve? What is that even? "Carl!" Dana's scream tore through the dusk. There was no more time, and the next move was up to me. Click the link now to keep listening for free. Dana is seconds from being devoured by the frost giant. Carl's beast mark is glowing. Hawk's voice is roaring in his head to evolve. But what does that mean? And what will it cost? One decision could save her, or awaken something unstoppable and change Carl forever. Will Carl's body survive the evolution? Will his bond with Hawk grow stronger or spiral out of control? Find out in the next explosive chapter of First Legendary Beastmaster, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and listen free.